Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Breathe Break for Your Brain. I'm Leah Lund, and I come to you live here in Supercharge Your Brain every Monday for a Breathe Break. And what a Breathe Break is a time every 90 minutes working with your circadian rhythms where you take 10 minutes to just clear your mind. Stop concentrating and working so hard on whatever it is you've been doing so far today, and just literally get up, walk around, take a deep breath, get outside if you can, or shift your focus and your attention to something new, something different. Maybe even music. Music is a great breathe break. And so on Mondays, we do this together in our community. And today I'm going to talk about how to use all of your brains. So if you're just getting to know me, I am the creator of One Whole Health, and we help women stop anxiety and overwhelm and self-doubt and self-sabotage by changing their brains so they can feel clear and focused and energized. And one way that you can do that is by making sure you take a breathe break every 90 minutes of the day. So we'll practice it together, but I hope you continue doing this throughout the rest of the day. I can see we've got some people coming on here. Hi, Yvonne, and hi, Amy. So I want to talk about how to use all your brains. And you may or may not know that you have more than one brain. So the latest in neuroscience is that we certainly have the brain in our head. We also have neurons or brain cells in our gut. You might have heard that. And even we're finding brain cells, neurons in the heart. And in fact, we're starting to see them all over the body. So we talk about three brains now, but it won't surprise me at all if sooner or later we're finding a fourth and a fifth and a sixth, because we're seeing evidence of neurons all over the body, which means everywhere in your body has the ability to communicate and the ability to send chemical messaging to your other systems, to your immune system, to your endocrine system, to your lymph system, cardiovascular system. So your body is really one big brain, and you can feel the most fulfillment in life when you learn to work with all of those different brains. So today we're going to talk mainly about heart, head, and the gut brain. And I find it kind of fascinating that when science meets ancient wisdom, because for so long ancient wisdom has spoke of our body and our mind and our soul, and now we're seeing this come out and be proven in neuroscience as well. So I think that's kind of fascinating when the two meet in the middle. And I really believe that you can live your highest expression of authenticity in your life when you learn to engage all three brains and use the right brain at the right time and involve all three brains in whatever choices you're making and decisions you're making and things that you're doing in your life. So this practice will enable you not only to do more, but to do more while still feeling energized and not feel exhausted. And engaging all three of your brains helps you to not feel restless or nervous or unsettled about things, and to be really at peace with your decisions and comfortable in your own skin. So let me share about your brains and about what are good times to be using your head brain versus your heart brain versus your gut brain. So let's start with your head brain. Your head brain is really the one you might be most familiar with. It's your cognitive function. It's your thinking processes. It helps you make meaning and give language to what you're experiencing and what you're seeing. So that's what's going on in this brain up here. Your heart brain is more about the emoting process, feeling your emotions. Your values system is centered here. Your core values come out of a heart brain, and how you feel about other people and how you interact with other people, all heart brain, the relational effect. And then we've got the gut brain. The gut brain, there's evidence that that's actually the first brain to develop. And it is, think about your gut. Your gut is your intuition. It's your core identity. It's the deepest sense of who you actually are. And it's self-preservation. You know, you get a gut feeling about danger, protection, safety. It's your first warning, if you will, your first indicator of excitement. You might get butterflies in your stomach. And your gut really mobilizes you. When you feel something in your gut, if you've ever had the hair stand up on your arm before you even thought about what was going on or happening, that's a gut response. That's a survival response. We even use the expression about gut that a person, if they don't have courage or they're not mobilizing and taking action, they don't have the guts to do this, right? So gut helps you face your fear. So what you can do, typically you'll start to practice. Actually, I shouldn't even say typically, because a lot of times we're in our head brain, but sometimes we do have that gut reaction. And it's okay to start with whichever brain is reacting or noticing a situation. But let's say it is a gut. You have an urge to do something and you're about to do it. You can intentionally shift to your head brain and think about pros and cons. And you can say, okay, what logically will happen if I go ahead and do this that I'm feeling within my gut? And is there anything that I need to know? And how does that break down? How do I actually take action and do this thing that I want to do? Then you can shift into your heart brain and see, how do you feel about it? Does it align with your core values? So you will feel dis-ease if you're taking action simply from head brain. Oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to make this happen. If it's not aligned with your heart brain, which is your core values, and certainly if it's not aligned with your gut brain, which is your instinct, who you really are at the core. So let's say a situation came up and it started in your head brain, and you're thinking, well, logically, this makes sense for me to do. Everybody else is doing this, so this makes sense. Again, check in with your heart brain. Does it align? Does it feel good? You know, if you slow down long enough to notice, you know when something doesn't feel good. Check in with your gut. At your very core, is this what you want? If you're aligned in your head and aligned in your heart brain, but you're hesitating, maybe you have some fear around actually taking action, that's when you can also shift to your gut brain and find the courage. When you connect it to your core identity, what you are here to do on this human journey, it can give you the courage from your gut to actually take action. So let's think about something that you've been hesitating to do, something that you're you know in your head maybe that you want to do, but you just haven't been able to get yourself to do it yet. So you can put it in the comments if you think of this, and we can walk through an example live right here. But think of something that maybe just today already or yesterday you procrastinated on. You think you want to do it. It's on your list. It crosses your mind every now and then, but you didn't take any action with it. Find out what your heart thinks. Maybe your heart is at odds with this action, and that's why you've been procrastinating. If you check in with your heart and that's not actually no, it feels good, it's what you want, it aligns with your values, it's important, then it's most likely you haven't engaged the gut brain. You haven't found the courage and the motivation and the mobilization yet from relating this to your core identity and purpose and what you're here to do in this human journey while you're on this planet. So sit with the gut. How can you know that it's right? Visualize what it looks like to be doing this very thing that you've been procrastinating on. And when you visualize, it's easy to see how aligned it is with your core identity. It's a knowing really that happens in the gut that isn't a thinking. It's an internal knowing. So science shows us that even on brain scans, our intuitive gut processes much faster than any other brain. So I worked this exercise from your head down to your heart, down to your gut. I also encourage you today, and the breathe break is a perfect time to check in with the gut, to what you haven't been listening to. What is your gut feeling that your head hasn't even thought about yet? Your heart hasn't even felt yet, because the gut is the fastest processor. When you engage with somebody you're talking, how you feel about them is happening in your gut first, and then your heart, and then your mind. So spending that 10 minutes out of 90 to check in with gut, what am I sensing? That's actually a good question to ask when you're tuning into your gut brain. Instead of how do I feel, because that's more heart. And actually, we think a lot about how we feel. So sometimes when you ask, oh, how do I really feel? Thoughts, head brain is still coming into mind. But when you ask the gut, ask, what am I sensing? You know, I'm sensing some fear. I'm sensing some danger. I'm sensing some uncomfortableness. I'm sensing this isn't me. Then check in with the heart. How do I really feel? Oh, maybe this is me, but maybe I'm just a little bit afraid. So it's me, but I'm afraid. Then you can come back to that gut to find the motivation. And you can go up to the head brain to break it down. Well, all I need to is step 1, step 2, step 3. Logically, if I do this, I know nothing bad is going to happen. Use the brain for that logical sense of things. So I hope you've enjoyed. Oh, and one last thing about intuition and gut. I want to share, maybe you have a decision that you're trying to make that you've been putting off. This is another great time to engage all 3 brains. Should I or shouldn't I? Should I take this new job or should I stay where I am? Notice what your gut senses about that. Your gut already probably has made a decision because it is the fastest processor. Then come to the heart. What are you feeling? Is it excitement? Is it fear? Is it uncertainty? When you name an emotion, then you can logically know what you're dealing with. So maybe there is some apprehension and fear because it's change to take this new job. But once you know that, oh, I'm apprehensive because it's a new job, but my gut tells me it's the right job to take, then your head brain can help you figure out the how-tos. Okay, so that's the use of gut, heart, and head. And another thing that you can do on a decision especially is an exercise that a long time ago one of my clients named the hat trick. So if you're deciding take the new job or stay where you are, go ahead and write each of those on 2 different slips of paper, fold them up and put them in a hat. And then you're going to draw, and you're going to draw 2 out of 3, best 2 out of 3, and tell yourself you are absolutely going to do 100% whichever you draw 2 out of 3. Draw 1, draw 2, draw 3. Then go to your gut. What was your initial gut response when you saw what the 2 out of the 3 is? That's a solid decision. Solid with your core values in your heart and with your identity, with who you really are inside. So try that out and let me know how it works for you. I'd love to hear your post and your experience about the hat trick and about using all 3 of your brains. This has been our Breathe Break. I'm Leah from One Whole Health, and thank you so much for being here.